catch-22 out of it all was, by demand, by its demand, we sort of outpriced ourselves. We become more commercialised. They always want like graphic designers and stuff like that. But again, for me, what I don't like is areas that get a lot of residential properties but no life in the project. There's no high street here. There's no reason for people to come here unless they're coming specifically for these events. So.
Well then, okay, I'm rolling now. So maybe if you can you tell me what MOT is?
The matter of time, moment of time, mother of techno, mother of tunes. That's what it was named after. Everybody assumes it was an MOT garage. It was a garage, but it didn't do MOTs. But it just seemed appropriate in what we were doing. But it's whatever anybody wants it to be. It was set up as a platform. Really, the whole concept was driven by a need from a local environment, from the local musicians, artists. Because that's how we started. The original space that we had was a larger space that had a few studios in it for artists. But the larger space, eventually we started doing events in that space, and we used to hold that space for larger projects. So if people had something big to build, or they had any project, like, or they were filming for a day. So that's why we kept the space a large space. Then eventually it started going into events, and it was all driven by people wanting to do events and a local community. So then it started to evolve into something, and then obviously the council got involved, saying, about noise, and then we had to find this place. That's what it was. We found this place. I talked about that piece of paper. Shit happens. For you, I become human. Whatever it is, a life engagement. Right
then, Jan. First thing I want to know is, can you tell me some stuff to do with specific parts of this room? But you can imagine that this room is also 18, because that's how we're thinking about it.
Right. So
there's a bit of you that, like, I don't know if this corner reminds you of anything. I don't know, and it can be 18 too.
Right now, the timeline starts in 2012.
2012.
The fruition of what it was, right? The truth of this place was, I came to London in 2011, right? 2008, I came to London and I watched people.
2000 when?
October the 5th. October the 5th? No, the 11th.
Up 2011.
Yeah, no, it's 11. Right, 11:05. Yeah. So 2011, and it was October, so that's 11, but it was 05. Like the date was 05. The day.
Right.
And I'd already been working in London to actually do the transition, because it was the only city that I thought that I could actually be freeing. And my partner, well, let's leave that out of it. It was more to do with, when I actually started working in London, I saw people holding on to dreams, right? Working in the galleries, the creative industry as such, working within the galleries, and I watched people like not being able to get to their studios because they were far too expensive. So I wanted a studio, but then I realised, in circumstance, the bigger the studio, the cheaper I could make it. Right? So in 2012, I rented a space that was 4,500 square feet, and every artist had 400 square feet for £112.
When did you do that?
2012.
2012.
But through that time, right, what happened was we became our own catch-22. Through the engagement of people, our rent went up from 1,200 a month to 1,000 a week.
How long did that take?
Less than 6 months.
Whoa. So that was 500 up to 1,000 a week?
1,000 a week. We had to move out quickly. But then we found other studios to practice in. But that was all to do with fine art. The whole thing for me was about creativity and allowing people access, right? And making it affordable where they didn't have to go to work constantly, they could spend time in their practice. Then I think, so I wrote this out now. Yeah, I think it was 2016. We took another studio on and it became a community project. It was always a community project. We gave people the opportunity to live and have studios. And the practice actually got them into rave, the practice themselves to be able to focus.
What did you call that out of interest? Or did you have a name for it?
No. Unit 1 to 4. It was always going to be Jan's place. I went, piss off. It's a bit Neanderthal that. Why did my place? It's like my responsibility. Like somehow. And that was the beginning of all what you see in that yard. Everything started in this idea of making cheap community living. So people with the same ideas. It went back to this idea of like the old, do you know when you had communities of artists, like the futurists, all of it, the last groups of people, you know, like the whole minimalists, all of it, these people that had ideas to share with each other instead of isolation. I've always believed in that from uni, that you cannot do this subject matter of creativity with people that don't understand it. If you are commercially oriented, you don't understand. We are here to actually break down every construct in our lives, every identity to rebuild ourselves. Well, that's what I did later. I don't know if it's true, but it works for me. That makes sense. Yeah, you can hear football. The last Colosseum.
Go on then. What happened after this?
2017, we started doing a larger space and the community started to ask, can we do parties? And the community did this. I had a space for larger projects within now, but it started to become a dance space.
Yep.
Cool. What you
But
saying?
they were ethical about freedoms. Like the fact that we had no prejudice, no prejudgment, there was no sexism, there wasn't, everybody was equal, everybody was allowed in, right? Nothing about people were allowed to be free. Right? And I was watching, and then the police shut us down.
How come?
Because we were too close to residential. But at the same time, the police gave us an opportunity, and Lewisham gave us an opportunity to actually start again. In 2018, in March 2018 we started with MOT.
In Unit 18, yeah?
Yeah.
1818?
March, I remember. And I remember the smile, the fun, because the police said you could never do it, and they walked in and gave me the licence. Right. It was like the smile though, on that side.
And then anything, how would you take me through this bit?
Well, this bit was the experience, and what licensing gave us was to actually be in control of unlicensed events. But it was something that they tried. We were the first people in Lewisham to get a 7 a.m. licence. Right? They called us the 7 a.m. boys when I actually rang them. They called us.
Why do you think that is?
And because personally, we talked about what we were trying to achieve. We're trying to get like spaces that people could actually dance without being persecuted. Right? When I say persecuted, that they weren't left vulnerable, but they were protected. The unlicensed parties is massive in London anyway because of the cost. Right? Then, just before 2019, there were 2 people involved. They were Rich and Natural Mind. Natural Mind had one of the most respected, but it is natural. N.
Nacho.
English is, if you want me to know, but I've had this experience. I convinced them, not Rick, but Nacho, I convinced him to start playing music, but he's doing it, he's been doing it all his life. But then he died. Right? Because a lifetime of problems. But if these people hadn't been involved, I would not have been able to actually get the credibility from an industry. 35 years both of them spent, right, to actually follow us and actually believe that we were about music. 2019. I started to realise that this was getting serious. It took Unit 20 to fruition people's careers if they wanted to be involved in the music industry. Everything I've ever done has been in a sense of design and build. I'm trying to learn about it so I can understand it. And then lockdown, right? Lockdown came. Block pie reminds me of this. I never read the news. It was always to do with this. Lockdown. And yeah, we went into a world of pain. Everyone's lives, a world of pain it was, because everybody had lost their identities. Yeah, here's one for that one. Sam getting cautioned for being up a tree.
Really?
Now that's how bad it was. He was getting cautioned for climbing a tree. Who do you think thought that ever, right? When did we have to think about why we left our own home? They made us prisoners. Right? I don't know what. If we're supposed to be so smart, how smart are they? I don't really understand what really happened, but I know it was an economic impact, right? That affected all.
I mean, didn't you have... And you gave him space in that time.
I don't even teach them anymore. They do everything. And they did the streaming, they did a hell of a lot of programming for music. I remember one day though, and it must have been March of 2009. So when the lockdown, 220, wasn't it? The beginning of lockdown in March of 220. I remember saying to Kit, I went, we've got to keep music alive. And we got a sound card,
and a laptop, and we started streaming straight away. Well,
When did Kit and Sam join?
Sam is a lot longer. Oh, live music goes a little bit further.
It's alright, we don't have to do exact. And also, you had like a licensing problem here, didn't you?
We always got a problem, do you mind? We had the dark side we had the right side of wrong.
Yeah.
We've always had problems because we are responsible for life, and I have to turn around and say we never got very few official like documents from them, but they have a responsibility on us to be responsible for you, right? And I have to respect, they were actually teaching us, they weren't actually fighting us, they were trying to educate us, right, on our responsibilities. Our responsibilities, because we only got one period of time where it went legal, right? There was never any paperwork, they were always there, we never understood them, and we tried to like understand why they were talking to us, and it created so much anxiety in our existence.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like people's futures, how people invested in this venue, and I am supposed to protect all of it, but I am the hardest person to work with. I tell you nothing. I want you to be yourself. I only work with people that want to be themselves. Right? And I try to build a structure about no boss. Right? No boss. Right, who's boss? Do you want responsible for them? Do you want to pay them every week? Once we start paying, we have to pay them every week, because this is how they live. But I only got some of the most articulate, richest son of a guns with the biggest brains I've ever seen.
Because isn't it pretty irregular to be paying people the way you do?
What do you think? Do you know something? That in an individual in this world, ask the gas man, the VAT man, fuck you, bitch, until I'm ready. Like you lot, we got taken. What kind of English is that? Right? But our lives got taken away from us. Our futures, our personal lives, our individuality. The fact that we make our own decisions without fear. If you're waiting for a trust fund, our parents live to 100, you're all fucked. It's like, go change it, go make it happen. And through all I've ever learned is everything that you fuck it up, and that's another learning curve. There is no once upon a time it's all beautiful. Every time we turn a corner, we learn, right? And I'm being really romantic, because how do you actually inform people that are massively intellectual? Okay, one of the artists is here. I went to him. So you've met Stephen Hawking? Yeah, because he's a master genius, right? And he's the son of Teddy Hall at the Specials. So he's got a musical background, but he's a fucking mathematical genius, right? It's the hardest piece of work to have a conversation with, though. But he is valid, and it takes time to meet different people, right?
Yeah, you've got like a quite diverse group of characters now.
Well, I'll tell you what, the army, these group of people protected us. We have kindness and generosity from us as people. See him over there? He's the thing that keeps us narcissistic, or he's a narky bastard. I don't know which way I want to put it, but I swear what, he's a piece of work.
Got to do something, man.
But he's a backbone of keeping us all sane.
I'm sure you're home, son.
Right? Has he brought the car back?
No.
Alright.
And my little brother's got the phone with you.
Oh, great.
You got the keys?
Yeah? Right, you're picking the car up later.
Yeah, come.
Do you know some, the aperture there? You look like a superhero. Do you know my...
When did
Jan-
he then join? That was it.
He joined. Do you know what happened? The police went, right, Joanne and Joanna from Body Hammer, right, they turned around and said, "You've got to hear this." Joanna, Body Hammer, I went to committee, so they said, "You've got to have to stand across the road."
Really? What, around that time, people were trying to shut you down?
Oh yeah, you're always trying to shut us down. No, I'm doing the war. But I'll tell you about the aperture of him. Yeah. He is this. Right. They tried to stop